Welcome, Hartford. Welcome to another edition of Hartford Community Leaders. Got a wonderful program for you today. We actually just sit back and join with us 1 hour of good programming. And we want to take this opportunity to thank all of our viewers who view us each and every week as we bring you great quality program here on Hartford Public Access. We want to take this opportunity to thank our staff, Mr. Armando, Mike, and Sister Trish Nelson, and our co-producer, Lakia Siobhan Leitner. They bring us, great quality program here, some of the best staff that we have, and just want to take this opportunity to thank them for their efforts on a weekly basis. They're here, whether I'm here or not, they are here in full force, and they do a great job here at Hartford Public Access. Today, we have some resources that we would like to bring to you. Got a lot of information for you all, for the community. We actually, you just get a pen and piece of paper and take down this information, this vital information, resources that you can use for the community. This past weekend, Hartford Community Leaders, we were at the Parker Memorial Center for two outstanding Black History programs. One was led by Mrs. Anna Nelson and Patricia Nelson, who's our chief engineer. I tell you, we had young people, we had encouragement, empowerment for our youth, and just education, for Black History. And it was great to see everyone. If you go out to our Hartford Community Leaders Facebook post, you'll see some of the pictures and some of the videos. And you could just see some of the young people being so much involved, and just really taking in the information that we were given, that was given to them, and it was great. Also want to thank Warren Hardy and Dean, and Mr. Dean, for Sunday. They had a great event, another power-packed Black History program with the youth, and individuals from the community. Even our Mayor Bronin, he stopped by and he pitched in, and I'm telling you, we had a great time there for HYPE. It's another organization, youth organization, Hartford Empowerment, HYPE. There's a lot of things going on in the city, a lot of programs going on in the city for our youth, for our adults, and you need to take advantage of these programs in our city. We've got a couple announcements, but Hartford Community Leaders, we're going to be doing a couple programs, and we'll let you know further in the show what's happening. You can register for these different classes that we're offering, and it's going to be great. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into our guest, and we're going to interview our guest today. And we have let's see, Shamar Latanya, right? All right, and she is motivation speaker.
Yep.
Author.
Yes.
Empowerment coach. She helps women rebuild and transform and reclaim their power after divorce. And so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about the work that you do in the community.
So I am what I like to call a transformation coach, which is a really fancy term for life coaching. I use that term because when a woman is coming out of a divorce or an unhealthy relationship, she often has to rebuild from the ground up. And it really is a transformation from the inside out. So I help her do that. When you're coming out of that, sometimes your emotions are so all over the place, and your emotions can get so cloudy that you often don't know what steps you need to take, if you're even able to take a step. And that's where I come in. I help her figure out what's that first step look like. And then we really look into the future, and I ask her, what do you want your life to look like? What kind of woman do you want to be? And once we get that set, we work backwards. Now we have goals to reach towards. So it's really all about helping her heal and build her life holistically.
How important is it that you, as a empowerment coach, for the church, and to really get individuals that have faced difficulties to empower them?
So it's difficult, and it's very difficult in our community, the Black community, because we don't go seek help. That's a very taboo word. When I was going through my divorce, I went immediately for help, and it was the best thing that I had ever done. But I started to meet women who were living with this shame and this fear and this frustration because we were told, you don't get help, you kind of keep it in the house, or you bring it to Jesus, which is fine. But that I think that's why Jesus qualifies therapists and life coaches to help in this situation. Yeah. So it gets very difficult because you often have to build that relationship first, and then get that trust first, and then that door kind of opens to help. And then also you have to be very mindful within the church. I'm not an advocate of divorce. I have to be very clear about that. But unfortunately, things happen. It's 2019, and everything that can happen does happen. And I am a firm believer of, if it happens, it doesn't mean that you can't build a life going forward. It doesn't mean that you're not deserving of love. You're not deserving of a healthy life that you enjoy living. So it's really just about navigating those stigmas that are already there.
Right. Now, when we have children in divorce situations, how does that play into rebuilding the lives of the family?
So it becomes a bit stickier when you've got children. I had she was 9 years. My daughter was 9 years old when I went through mine, and you're now tasked with having to make sure you're healing and you're healthy, and then providing a healthy environment for your child, making sure that your child is healthy. So it's like a dual task here, and it's doable. It just takes a lot of help. It takes a lot of targeted information, and you have to really know what it is that you want for the both of you. So for instance, we both went to therapy, and I made sure that I connected with her on a lot of different levels, and made sure that while I was healing, I didn't forget her healing in the process. Right. So it really is and for couples, it really has to be you want to provide a better environment for your child more than you can't stand each other, if that's how it goes down.
Right. Now, you're going to be at Pastor A.J. Johnson's church real soon, correct?
I'm a member of Urban Hope Refuge Church, proud member.
And you're going to be speaking. I've seen a flyer with you speaking.
Last week, last week I actually had the honor and privilege of speaking at the church. I did a workshop for singles. I think that it's really important for single women to enjoy the space that they're in now, because a lot of times we see women getting into unhealthy relationships or abusive relationships. There is a feeling of, I need this person there. So there is something very special about being single and enjoying being single while preparing for a healthy, godly relationship in the future.
In that singles class, was there a lot of young single women, men?
Yes, actually, men and women. And I think that what was beautiful about it is, we have to get to the point where we really understand each other. And, men are hurting, women are hurting. And if we can kind of reach some kind of understanding, like everyone's hurting on some different form, then there's a level of understanding that can take place. So then you just kind of start bridging this gap, so it's not just this whole women over here and men over here, and I don't know what to do in between.
And so what was like the overall message as far as, or some of the questions that some of the attendants asked? Some of the concerns that they had. Well,
it's a different atmosphere than what I typically do. I was very blessed to have women who were pretty much healed and just wanted to, get ready for this relationship coming. So that was pretty much light work. That was the easy work. We had a really great time. A lot of the concerns that I face in general with women that are newly single, it's typically, how do I build this life without going back to what was unhealthy? How do I support myself financially, going from 2 income to 1 income, and I have children? How do I maintain my own sense of well-being? How do I grow without becoming bitter? And how do I provide a healthy environment? It's 2019 and women have made such strong strides in the public eye, but behind the scenes and within our communities, some women didn't even have bank accounts.
Wow.
Some women just didn't know how to create this life on their own. So I think it's really important. The pressing need is that while we see, the Kamala Harrises and we see the Michelle Obamas and we see women doing some amazing things on a larger scale, in our communities, women are still trying to build their life. Women are still trying to figure out, how do I be empowered and do this and still feel like I can make an impact?
Right. Speaking of women in the workforce, sometimes women, they feel, maybe threatened or by men in the workforce that for management and things. What is your take on women in the workforce and how they should take that type of situation and turn it to positive for the team?
Right. So as an entrepreneur, as a full-time entrepreneur, I often find myself in these spaces where, again, you hear Black women are becoming the largest group of entrepreneurs in the country. But you go into these spaces and, we're still, quote unquote, the minority, right? It really is about knowing your worth, knowing what you have to offer as a woman, and knowing what your talents are, what your skills are, and not being afraid to hone in on that, and not being afraid to say what those are.
Right.
Once you get to that piece, that confidence, which is really what I help women do also. When you reach that point of, I am confident enough to walk in this room, and I remember at one point I was leading an entrepreneurship group, and I was the only woman in the group leading, and I was a co-lead. It really took, this is what I know how to do. I know how to bring in multiple streams of revenue.
Yes.
So I am absolutely not going to sit back and be quiet. If I have something to say, it's going to be said, and respectfully, but you have to kind of be aggressive and really know your worth and what you have to offer as a woman, and be really, really ready to go forth and willing to speak on that and do that with confidence.
And we had a women's panel a couple months back, and Lakia, she had brought in a women's group. We had a women's discussion, and that was one of the questions that I raised to the women. And so Lakia, you had anything that you would like to?
I want to know about your book.
Oh, okay.
That you brought today.
Okay, so my book is called The 30-Day Slay, and basically I really took the first year of going through my divorce and rebuilding my life, and I chronicled it in a book. The reason why I did that is because, again, we don't talk about getting help in our communities very often, and I remember thinking that there was something wrong with me. At one point I thought maybe I was bipolar because I was crying everywhere, I didn't know what to do. And as I started talking to more women, I realized that it was a normal thing. A lot of women that were rebuilding and starting their lives over were going through this, but we just don't talk about it. And I kind of started to feel like, if we're not talking about it, no wonder why our daughters and our sisters and our mothers are going back into something unhealthy, because they don't know anymore. So I was like, I'm going to be as transparent as I can about my process. I am going to be as transparent as I can. I remember telling you, everyone, I heard, oh, she's not going to make it without him. She's not going to be able to do it on her own. She's going to fall on her face. She'll go back, and I made this decision that I wouldn't. I made this decision that I would really grow and benefit from this and fly from this. And as I did, there's a scripture that I love where Jesus says that as you get strength, you go back and you strengthen your brethren. And this is going back and strengthening the mothers, the sisters, the daughters who are struggling to build a life outside of an unhealthy relationship, and they have to know that it can be done. And this book does that. I chronicled everything from the decision, what to do if you have children, and then what to look forward to.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I have another question for you. Would you be willing to come back on the 26th?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Wonderful.
All right. All right. Hey, now you have a program. It's called Blueprint.
The Blueprint to Transformation. I have a group coaching program for women. They can go onto my website, which is my first and last name.com, shamarlatanya.com. And the group coaching program is an intensive program really to help women. Each month is themed. So this month was all about rebuilding that self-worth. Next month will be about how does money matter? How do I rebuild my credit? How do I bring in multiple streams of income so I can survive on my own if I need to? So each month is themed, and each month comes with activities, assignments, because I just really feel like empowerment is just over if you don't educate someone on how to maintain that empowerment. Because when they hit a wall, they need to know what to do next. And that's what my program is for. When you hit that wall, this is what you're going to do next. And I also do one-on-one coaching, which is very intense, super individualized. What do you need as a woman to rebuild? Where do you want to go? How do you want to find your purpose?
Okay. Now, do you get into the subject of domestic violence? Okay. No, because and that's one of the things that we did a domestic violence workshop about 3 months ago, and we had just women coming to us and sharing their stories about, what do they do next? They're in a situation, they're at the end of their road. They need to find a place to stay. The child and them and them need a place to stay. And what do they do next? They don't have any money saved up. Who do they turn to? These are the things, the next steps, like you were saying. Yeah, so
really, women we have to make sure that we're flooding our communities with resources. There are, in Hartford, I remember when I first moved here, I didn't know much, but as I started to live here and grow, there are so many resources that I didn't even know about. And I thankfully did not have to deal with domestic violence. But as I help women, there are resources within your community that are there. We have to do a better job at flooding the neighborhoods with what the resources are. Where are the shelters you can go to? What are the programs that you can do? What job fairs are out there for you? Is there someone that can help you get a resume together? Is there someone that can help you understand what an interview is like and what those steps are? Because when a woman is in an abusive relationship, the other person who's doing the abusing, their greatest weapon is keeping her uninformed, making her feel like there's nowhere else for her to go and that there are no resources. So we have to really flood our communities with, this is what's available, this is where you can go, so you don't have to stay into this relationship that could kill you in the long run.
Now, if someone wanted to have you come to their church, their organization, to do a workshop, how would they be able to contact you?
You can go onto my website. It's www.shamarlatanya.com. I'm trying to figure out if I should spell that for the TV. That's a lot to spell. But if you type in CHAMAR, everything else will come up. Because there aren't many Shamar Latanyas out there. You can also reach out to me. My Instagram is the same, Shamar Latanya. Facebook, Shamar Logan, and send me messages, and then we can set up something. I am really big on being available however I can to make sure these women are getting everything that they need to grow and learn and build.
So great information, Hartford. Hey, if you have a question and you're out there and you want to ask Shamar some information, hey, type in your question. We're here to get the information out to you, get the resources out to you. We're here. And so, just type in your information or inbox me, Donald Padgett, on Facebook, Hartford Community Leaders on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the above. All right.
Now, is your book available on your website so people can purchase?
Yes, my book is available on my website. That's the best way to reach it, to get it on my website. I usually ship it out the very next day.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Shamara, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we look forward to having you back.
Yes.
Of course, I
the
appreciate
26th with Cree.
Yes, I will be here.
Perfect.
All right, Hartford. Hey, bringing you some good information, resources to the community. Hey, Hartford Community Leaders will be sponsoring a Courage to Speak Courage through Parenting 101, parenting through the opioid crisis and beyond. In this class that we're sponsoring, is you'll learn communication strategies with children on drugs, teach children drug refusal skills, help children cope efficiency with stress and emotion, understand signs of drug use, the influence of marijuana, opioid use on youth development, parent resources, and much, much more. We got some dynamic speakers and facilitators for this workshop. Hey, you can register on HartfordCommunityLeaders.com, and this event is free. It all happens Friday, March the 29th, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. And also, we want to thank the Youth Challenge Incorporated for assisting us with this. It's going to be at the Glory Chapel International Cathedral Church, 221 Greenfield Street in Hartford, Connecticut, for this presentation. We're going to have refreshments. Make sure you bring your pads and pens to take some vital information down to help you and your family. And this all happens Friday, March the 29th, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. And the title of this is Parenting Through the Opioid Crisis and Beyond. And you can register on our website, www.HartfordCommunityLeaders.com. And once again, this workshop is free. If you want to subscribe to our e-blast list, make sure you just inbox me your email and I'll add you to the e-blast list, and you can register right online. Let me know that, hey, I'm just ready to attend. We're here to give resources to the community, help our community out. And speaking of helping our community out, we have Lieutenant Marisol Rodriguez-Velez with us. How are you today?
I'm well, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Lieutenant Velez is with the Hartford Police Department, and she is over the recruitment. And we wanted to bring you that information, Hartford, so that we can have individuals from Hartford, that is of Hartford, apply for those police officer jobs right here in Hartford.
Yes, sir, that is correct. Thank you for emphasizing that. We are currently recruiting. We currently have 100 to 150 police officer vacancies that we need to fill. And we would love for those vacancies to be filled by the city residents, the Hartford residents, because we want the police department to mirror the community it serves. And we currently serve predominantly a minority population. Having said that, I just want to go over just the basic requirements of what it entails to become a Hartford police officer. You just need to be 21 years of age, have a high school or a GED diploma, be a U.S. citizen, and have a valid driver's license. We currently have the application online, and it will be available up until April 1st. You can either go to Main Street and City Hall, 550 Main Street, and fill out a paper application, or you can go online at policeapp.com or hartford.gov/police to fill out the application. And we do encourage city residents to apply. We are in a critical need. We're in critical need of police officers.
Right.
Having said that, we need a lot of bilingual persons to apply. So our South End is predominantly Hispanic and bilingual. So if you do speak two languages, that's great. We love our military. If you're military currently serving or a vet, we also encourage you to apply. We offer, what's unique to our police department is that if you are a Hartford resident, we give you extra credit for that, so to speak. We give you an extra 10 points if you are a city of resident. And those 10 points would be once you sit and pass the written exam, which is a minimum score of 70, we would give you 10 points, so that would give you an overall 80%, which is pretty good, because then that puts you into a ranking system.
What's the average salary for just basics?
The basic base pay, if you're just coming in with a high school or a GED diploma, is $958 a week, or $49,852 a year.
Great.
Full disclosure, I mean, we're not the highest paid police department in the state of Connecticut, but the opportunity for overtime is there. And what I mean by that is that we have a lot of private duty jobs that are available to just the Hartford police officers.
Right.
We have, the supermarkets, the Walmarts, not to forget that we have the Civic Center, the Convention Center, the Yard Goat Stadium that we have now. We also have the parades, any city function that would be at time and a half.
and you have all the basic benefits and the retirement, right?
Yes, we do. We are one of the few that still offers a pension,
Mhm.
a pension and a competitive retirement plan. We also give educational incentives. So although we accept you with the basic high school or GED diploma, we encourage you to continue your studies.
Mhm.
And the incentive being that if you do come in with either an associate's or a bachelor's degree or above, because we have many that have master's degrees and even our attorneys, and they're out in patrol, you get up to 5% over the base pay and the annual pay. And of course, we offer health and dental plan and paid vacation.
You know, what if someone says, you know, I really want to join the police department, and you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take the agility test. You know, I need some help. You know, with the agility, you know, test or with the written test. You know, is it something that you all can work with? Because you know, we have a lot of residents that say, hey, you know, I don't think I can, you know, deal with all that running and you know, and then sometimes the test, they get a little nervous for the test. Is it something that you prepare them for?
Yes,
to
sir.
help them out?
Yes, we do. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Actually, what's unique to just Hartford, the Hartford Police Department, and no other department here in the state of Connecticut offers this, is that we do provide practice written exams, regardless if you're a Hartford resident or not.
Mm-hmm.
We give you the week prior to City Hall inviting you for the written exam. We will invite you via email to participate the week prior in several different practice exams that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the agility test, yes, that is an area where we lose a lot of folks, whether they're residents or not. So we do offer every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday free physical fitness at Buckley High School in the track.
Right.
Yes, we do, and that's usually from 6:30 to 8. We also, as part of the process of applying, there's a mock, and I'll review the selection process quickly. We also offer free mock oral boards. So the selection process to become a police officer is once you submit the application, you're invited for a written exam. Once you pass the written exam, then you have to submit yourself to a panel, an oral board. And basically the panel can be made up of either 3 or 4 individuals. A city official, a police officer, usually a lieutenant or above, and a citizen or several citizens. And they basically just ask you what-if questions, as if you were already a police officer. You know, what would you do if you saw someone running down the street with a TV, things of that sort. So, I mean, many people have not gone through this process and probably don't have anybody in their background or family that are police officers that they can bounce off questions off. So we bring you in the week prior and we give you scenario-based questions to prepare you for success.
Good. What is typical day on your job? I mean,
It's
you know,
great.
because we may have someone out there that said, "Hey, you know, I don't know, this might be for me, and it might not be for me."
Sir, it is the greatest job. I'm going to be 49. I've been in this profession for 14 years. I started kind of late. And I've had other jobs, you know, in my previous life, and this is the best job. I mean, if you are people-oriented and you're a good communicator and you genuinely like to help people, being a police officer is the way to go. It's the profession you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, modern-day policing, today's policing, it's all about communicating. It's all about having respect
Right.
and dignity towards. You want to treat others the way you want to be treated. You know, I put myself in a position that if I were stopped, I'm a New Yorker, I'm not from Connecticut, but if I were stopped anywhere else by a police officer, or someone was to stop someone in my family, how would I want that police officer to treat my family member? So I keep that in the back of my mind. And one of the reasons why I chose to be a police officer was because coming from the state of New York and New York City, where back when, you know, things were a little different. And I didn't like the way police officers treated friends or family members. Yes, we all have them on the other side of the fence, that no matter what you do, you still deserve to be treated with respect and dignity.
And you know, in the police officer field, they have some of the best jobs, you know, in that particular field. And so you can go from detective to officer, different jobs, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We do offer a lot. Everyone has to start in patrol,
Mhm.
and patrol is basically pushing. You see the officers out there, and they're the ones that are call driven or dispatch driven,
Mhm.
that may be dispatched to any, you know, to any type of scenario. But we also offer, once you're on the job, you do have the opportunity to become a detective. And those are just, it depends on the department, but they're basically, it's a lateral move from a patrol officer to a detective. You just get to wear plain clothes and you get to actually investigate a little in depth what the primary officer was primarily dispatched to. But we offer in Hartford, we have a hostage negotiation team, we have a bomb squad, we have a dive team, we have a SWAT team, we have canine, we have bicycles, officers and bicycles, we have a traffic division. I mean, we offer a lot. We have community service officers, we have a faith-based community service officer. I started out as a school resource officer.
Okay.
I know we don't have that anymore, but I'm pretty sure we're moving in that direction to get officers back in there. But we offer a lot, but because we have a lot. We offer all those units because we deal with all those type of situations and incidents in the city of Hartford.
One of the questions is, to get more officers to apply, that, by me being a community activist and all the above, we get this question all the time. How come you guys don't reach out to like some of the security firms? Because some of the security firms, they have people there that are, trained security, and that they may want to move to that next level, to become the officer. It's just a matter of just like encouraging them to, move into that next step.
And we have, not to that extent, because that's like me trying to sell McDonald's in front of Dunkin' Donuts. Taking their customers away. There's some, you want to be conscious of that. But as far, I've been overseeing the career development, which entails recruitment and retention, our cadet program, our Explore program, and our PAL program. But some of the things that I've done in the 6 months that I've been in this position is, just so you know, is I've gone out to the colleges. Within state and out of state. I've gone to all the career fairs that are available and that I'm invited to. I've reached out to our faith-based community. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
Sometimes it's tough because I can't just force myself on any particular organization or membership. I've been all over the radio. Thank you, Hot 93.7. I'd like to come back. Please invite me. I've been all over the Spanish stations, and we're huge on Instagram right now. Social media is the way to go. So that's what I've been using a lot, to get the word out that we need so many officers in the city of Hartford, because it is historic. There isn't any other department, I don't think, that's equivalent in our size that needs so many police officers.
And one of the things I love about Hartford Police Department is that you have officers there that's willing to, sit down with you and just kind of, walk you through the, process to empower. You. Now, if I was a little bit younger, I probably would apply for.
Well, sir, let me tell you, there is no age limit. There is an age minimum, but there is no age limit.
Because here's the thing, as a youngster, I was part of the Explorer program, and so, and I think that's a great program for starters, from PAL to, the Explorer program.
You are correct, and I'm in that same mindset. So my vision and my goal is to create a pipeline, because like I said, our main goal and mission is to get the Hartford residents to want to become police officers and enter the law enforcement profession. So the goal is, and I've actually partnered up with Superintendent Leslie Torres Rodriguez. I hope I didn't get that reversed. So that we can start having the police presence in the schools on a positive interaction. And so what we've come up with, and I know the research that I've done so far, is in Massachusetts, I believe it was Boston Police Department, they had implemented this High Five Friday, where police officers would just go to certain schools and just basically give that student a high five, great job for coming to school, that type of thing, some sort of encouragement.
Right.
So that's something that we're looking to implement in the very immediate near future. Although she wants to change it to fist bump, because I guess I'm a little old and kids don't high five anymore. Everybody fist bump, so we're gonna call it Fist Bump Fridays.
Right.
And we're gonna start with 2 pilot schools and see where that leads us, and hopefully get the kids to have that positive interaction with us that would want to come and become, pals, and then right into explorers and become a cadet and then a recruit and then eventually law enforcement.
Yeah. So, encouragement to the field. What else is it that we need to send a message to the community? What other messages?
I think, law enforcement altogether lately, it just seems like there's just this negative perception, or if the news media and everybody that's out there that has the power, such as yourself, sir, to give us, shine us in a positive light every now and again. I mean, our profession is like any other profession. You're going to have people that are miserable, hate life, and they are who they are. You're gonna find that in every profession. We all have one or two, but don't let that one or two shine or be a reflection on the entire force, because we're not all like that. We're human. I'm a mother. I got 2 kids. I got, I bleed like everybody. I cry like everybody else. And I came on this job because I want to help. I want to help. Everyone in the community, and have them see a familiar face when they're in a time of need. So if your listeners and your Facebook live stream, if they can just I don't know what your interaction has been with law enforcement lately, or what you've seen or what you've heard, but I would give that police officer, whoever comes to your house, give them or her the opportunity. We're not all the same. We're not going to give you, you're not going to have the same interaction. That's on the flip side. That's like me having a bad day or having a bad interaction with the person I probably pulled over before you, and then giving you that same attitude. It's not deserving to you. You're a different person. It's a different incident. So let's give each other a chance, and to please encourage the young ones, your children, your nieces, your nephews, to look up to law enforcement and police officers, because they're gonna treat us the way, if you're telling them, hey, they're bad, they're gonna come get you, instead of saying, hey, they're here to help you, then maybe if we can change their mind, they're gonna want to be more they're going to want to pursue the profession.
Yeah. And one of the groups that I look at, and I was talking to Terry Starks. She has the band and the dancer groups that's always at the HPD events and the PAL events, and they do music. They do the dancing, and I just look at those children. I told their father, Mr. Duffy, that I said, wow, you guys are doing great, and it's because the Hartford Police Department works with those young people, and they encourage those young people, invite those young people to those different PAL events and things like that. So it's great, and so you all have the interaction with the young, the old, and middle age.
Yes, sir. I mean, I believe it's important that we keep that communication open, and to make sure that especially our youth see us and during positive engagements, and not when when something's wrong in their family or they need assistance, and we're there at maybe the worst critical time in their parents or their lives. So, but can I just mention that we're also hiring for the cadet program. Okay. Our cadet program is a paid program, and you just need to be you need to be a Hartford resident, be between the years of 18 and 24 years old. And basically what the cadet program is a pipeline. They get paid, I believe they get up to $15 an hour, and they go through a 6-week abbreviated police academy. And while they're in the police academy, they are reviewing the statutes, criminal law, motor vehicle law, domestic violence laws, everything that police recruit would get. They just get it in 6 weeks, and they'll be the ones that you may see out there in the mornings doing a school post in the powder blue uniform.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And it's a great way. And
Right.
basically, when those youth when they turn 21. The goal is for them to be able to sit down, take the written exam, and become a police cadet, police recruit.
Speaking of the recruitment and everything, how can a individual prepare for their, future, for law enforcement? How can they, prepare for their future?
Yes, thank you. I thank you for reminding me. I wanted to go into the selection process. So, as I mentioned earlier, you submit your application, you're invited for the written exam, you take the written exam, successfully pass it with a 70, move on to the oral board. If you're successful, then you go into what's called the background process, and it's very entailed, it's very involved. And this is where a lot of the times we lose most of our candidates, and I'll give you quick stats. So the selection process, the background process is you have to take a polygraph. You have to have 2 polygraphs. It includes a polygraph, a psych evaluation. They do a credit history check. They do a motor vehicle check. They do they speak to your neighbors. They do an employment check. They do you have to submit yourself to a very detailed medical evaluation, such that as of our military personnel, I also serve in the military, so we want to go through all your systems, make sure that you're at least somewhat in good physical shape and health to become a police officer. And then you go through, once you pass the background selection process, then you're invited to the chief's, to an interview with the chief, and then you enter the police academy.
Right.
So if this is a profession and career that you're looking to hopefully have and pursue, is you have to be careful with credit. Is a huge one. And we're not saying that you can't have bad credit. We're saying, and it's just not Hartford Police Department, is any police department, is if you have credit, if you have outstanding credit and balances, you need to at least show that you're making an effort to make payment, that you're not just like letting your monthly payments and you're like 5 or 6 missing 5 or 6 payments. Now there are circumstances in which the chief has the ultimate decision. For instance, if you are a single parent and you are going or have gone through a divorce and you're down from dual income to one income, and you have to basically choose between either feeding your kids or paying your bill, those are extenuating circumstances that so far to date the chief has given the okay and said, you know what, we need to let this person through because we need to set them up for success. But if you're just, you're making good money, and you're just decided you're not going to make that monthly payment or 2, then that could definitely, that's what we call a disqualifier. So Hartford is, we consider ourselves a lenient department. And what I mean by that is that we take into account your life experience. The older you are, the more experience you've had, right? So with the topic of marijuana, just to bring that up, I mean, that's practically almost legal, right? It will soon. But if you've had history of smoking marijuana, if it's not within the year that you submit the application, we will accept you.
Okay.
That's not an automatic disqualifier.
Okay. All right. So, hey, prepare for your future, Hartford, and police officer, become a police officer. Hey, if you're interested, hey, we want to encourage you. I'm telling you, we want to encourage you to go and then apply to become that police officer. It only takes, that little bit of motivation and that little bit of push. Hey, listen, anything is a process. Anything that you do is going to be a process, okay? So, it's not going to come overnight. When you got to go through the process, and if you go through the process and keep the faith and believe that, hey, I can do this. This job is for you. Don't get discouraged. Like I said, they have police officers that are there to encourage you, to talk with you, sit down with you, and walk you through the steps. And that's one of the things that individuals they just say, I'm just going to give up. I'm not even going to go through that process. Hey, if you have questions, you need to ask those questions.
Yes, sir.
And they're there to help you. So we want to encourage you all to apply. And how can they apply once again?
They can. The application is online, and it'll be available till April 1st. Police app, one word, policeapp.com, or the city of Hartford.gov, or they can just go down to 550 Main Street.
All right. Well, thank you, Lieutenant Velez. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here.
Thank you
And
so much.
also,
you.
I'm going to give you one of the cards for our
Thank you,
director,
sir.
and you can get those slides to us so that we can actually put those slides on HPA TV5 to get more applicants from Hartford to apply for a police officer job. All right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Once again, Hartford, bringing you some great information. Hey, happening March the 16th is going to be Getting Fit for His Kingdom, 91st church anniversary of the Hopewell Baptist Church. I'm telling you, and it's sponsored. Well, actually, I'm sponsoring this. This big event. Open to the public. You need to. They have vendor tables there. You can set up your table. Basically, they're gonna have choirs from New York City, New Haven, Hartford, Springfield, Massachusetts. And this event happens Saturday, March the 16th, 2019. At the Hopewell Baptist Church, 280 Windsor Avenue in Windsor, Connecticut. Hey, they do have tickets, but I'm telling you, it's the 91st church anniversary of the Hopewell Baptist Church. I tell you, you want to be there. There's a great flyer, Hartford, and make sure you support. 91 years, I'm telling you, is something great. And I had the privilege to put this on my portfolio for 91 years church anniversary concert. And so, if you love good music, entertainment, good music, just come on out and just enjoy yourself. And I like to see you there. I'll be in the place to be, and I'll be doing a little bit of everything, working the sound, getting the choirs together, and etc. of all the jack of trades that I do. So it all happens March the 16th. Make sure you support what's going on. Also, there is a couple free events that's happening. We have a health and wellness workshop. Be proactive about your health. Come learn about free health screening and services. You can receive mammograms, pap tests, cholesterol, glucose measure, blood pressure, and behavior support options. Healthy freebies and food provided by the Hartford Public Library. And this event all happens Wednesday, March the 20th, 2019, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Hartford Public Library, and they're located on Main Street in the city of Hartford. And speaking of the Hartford Public Library, we have our Alexander Ashley from the Hartford Public Library, and he has a program that he has there for computer training skills. And he's here to talk about that. Welcome to Hartford Community Leaders.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And good afternoon, Hartford. So there's a couple things computer-based that I want to talk about. It's not just a computer training skills, but more importantly, we want to give qualified Hartford residents access to computers and high-speed internet.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's see where I'm going to start it off with.
All right.
The main goal right now is to bridge the digital divide in Hartford. The biggest thing to understand about the digital divide is that if you are one of the have-nots, you're getting left behind. And what I mean is everything these days is digital. Everything is converting to a digital format. If you don't have access to the internet or to a computer, most likely you're not going to be able to keep up with what's going on. The news is primarily being soaked up through the internet, through social media in particular. Articles are now switching to a format more digital. People are paying their bills through the internet. People are applying to jobs, applying to schools. If you want to get your kid into a Hartford public school, you have to go through the online process. And, we just feel like if people don't have access, they're just going to get further and further behind in the whole process. So there's a couple different components that the Hartford Public Library has chosen to, different lanes that we decided to go to address this issue. The first is the computer classes that you mentioned,
Right.
building up people's digital literacy levels. So there's an online assessment that we utilize called North Star Digital Literacy Assessment, and that's the base, or we use that as a tool to get people's base level of digital literacy. The main components that I tend to look for are their basic computer skills, their internet skills, and their email skills. From there, what I was doing when I first came on board and took over the computer courses, I would see what the skill level was at and then try to tailor some individualized lessons per Hartford resident that we were serving. Now we are changing the curriculum a little bit to be able to address everyone's needs in a way that's more efficient. So essentially, if you could imagine this being like a computer lab, we will have people coming in day one at different levels. So if they're at different levels day one, then they don't need the same levels of help. Some people, you set them up with 1 or 2 websites and resources and they'll be good. Other people need a little bit more hand holding. Some are still struggling just to be able to log into the computer and maneuver the mouse and the keyboard. So we're tailoring a lot of these different skills or lack thereof. We want to tailor our lessons to be able to address those. So we have a keyboarding and mouse exercise. Those days are going to be on Wednesdays from 12 to 1. Anyone who wants to just come into the library and practice their typing, they want to get their typing speed up or get their dexterity and their motor skills down with the mouse, they can come in on a Wednesday around noon and we can set you up with that. For something more, let's say, one step to the other, we have our 4-week curriculum. The first week is going to be focusing on computer basics, second week internet, third week email, and the fourth week social media. Social media is something that's almost hard to get around. It's now getting to a point where even employers are hoping to see that you have a LinkedIn or a Facebook account. So I want to make sure that people, especially those that are trying to make themselves more employable, they can get the skills that they need for the technology and have some type of a digital footprint that they leave behind, a positive one, a professional one that any employer can look them up and find them. And so we'll also go over the privacies, the safeties, and things like that. So that's with the computer class. The more exciting stuff I'm here to talk about is our Crossroads to Connectivity program. That is a 2-phase program. The first phase is what we're in right now, and that's focusing more so on the individuals. So the Hartford Foundation of Public Giving, they awarded us with a nice grant to tackle the digital divide. And so on phase 1 of this grant program, we are looking for about 120 Hartford residents that are ages 24 and older and are currently enrolled in a high school diploma program such as GED or online program, or they're receiving SNAP benefits and are enrolled in an employment and training program. They have a bunch of those at all the community colleges and Capital. SNAP ENT program, you can look that up, just Google search it, and essentially these are just career ready training programs. Any of the jobs that are in high demand and need a lot of people to work them, they are designing particular courses at different colleges to give people those skills. So certain SNAP recipients would then qualify to be able to take those courses for free. So we're targeting those people as well. Or if you're in the WIOA program, those are the individuals that we are looking for. And
How would they be able to sign up? Because we got about three minutes left.
no problem. So the easiest way to
2 minutes? 2
we
minutes.
got 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
No problem. So the easiest way to apply is, one, give me a call at 860-695-6337, or you can email me at learning@hplct.org. Those are the easiest way to reach me. All I need is a signed application, an ID, proof of enrollment will be great, and you'll just come in for an interview. The interview doesn't take long.